So we are now, of course, in the midst of the January transfer window, and there's a lot of news of potential incomings and outgoings. In today's video, we will discuss some massive Celtic transfer news, whilst going over all the latest news from around the club in the last 24 hours. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Former Celtic Academy standout Ben Doak has become the subject of a reported £15 million transfer bid from Crystal Palace. The 19-year-old winger, currently on loan at Championship side Middlesbrough from Liverpool, has caught the eye with his performances this season. Palace's bid signals their ambition to secure the young Scotland international, who has also drawn attention for his potential long-term impact at Anfield. Doak's rise has been meteoric since leaving Celtic in 2022. At just 16, he made his senior debut for the Hoops under Ange Postecoglou, featuring in 2 Premiership games before Liverpool swooped in with a reported £600,000 compensation fee. Since then, the winger has progressed rapidly, earning appearances for Liverpool's first team in domestic cup competitions and the Premier League. His loan spell at Middlesbrough this season has further showcased his ability with 2 goals and 5 assists in 20 Championship appearances. Sunsport reports that Crystal Palace sees Doak as a key addition to their squad. With regular first-team opportunities potentially harder to come by at Liverpool, a move to Selhurst Park could appeal to Doak if he prioritises immediate game time. Doak's progression hasn't gone unnoticed on the international stage either. The winger made his senior debut for Scotland in 2023, becoming one of the youngest players to represent his country in recent years. Now for the main story. Alexandro Babay is on the verge of sealing a permanent move away from Celtic after a meeting at Celtic Park. Today resulted in the Scottish champions agreeing a €5.5 million deal to sell the Argentine left-back to International. The 23-year-old has been on loan at the Brazilian side since the summer and has excelled in Brazil's Serie A, earning widespread praise as one of the best left-backs in the league. His standout performances have convinced International to make the move permanent, with an official announcement expected soon. Babay's time in Glasgow had struggled to take off. Signed in 2022 from Lanús for around £3.75 million, he failed to secure a consistent place in the starting 8. The arrival of Brendan Rodgers signalled the end of any real opportunity at the club, with Greg Taylor firmly established as Celtic's first-choice left-back and with Kieran Tierney's return looking more and more likely. What looked like a potential financial loss for the Hoops has instead turned into a profitable piece of business. Babay's resurgence in form on loan ensured Celtic were able to negotiate a significant fee, turning a once worrying situation into a win-win outcome for both parties. The move represents a fresh start for Babay, who is clearly thriving in South America, while Celtic can reinvest the funds as Rodgers continues to shape his squad. The departure is also likely to pave the way for reinforcements as the January window progresses. Sources in Brazil, including GZH, report that the formalities of the deal are nearly complete, with only final details to be ironed out before the transfer is confirmed. Babay's Brazilian renaissance has ultimately worked out well for all involved. In other news, Celtic's pursuit of Kieran Tierney faces a significant financial hurdle, with the Arsenal defender potentially needing to forego up to £3 million in wages to facilitate a permanent return to Glasgow this month, according to the ever-reliable Stephen McGowan. Tierney, 27, is in the final 6 months of his contract at the Emirates, with Arsenal opting not to extend his deal. While the Gunners are reportedly open to cutting ties early to save on his substantial salary, the player himself would need to agree to a compromise that could impact the move. Currently on Premier League level wages, Tierney's return to Celtic would necessitate a pay cut, which he is more than willing to do. However, clubs and players often find middle ground in such situations. Arsenal might agree to cover a portion of the remaining salary, or Tierney could negotiate a severance package to offset the financial loss of terminating his contract early. This type of arrangement would not be unprecedented, particularly when all parties are motivated to complete a deal, which could be completed in the next week. With Tierney reportedly keen on a return and talks advancing, the Hoops are banking on his love for the club and the opportunity to play regular first-team football being key factors in his decision. Securing Tierney on a pre-contract agreement for next summer remains the most straightforward option. However, Brendan Rodgers is keen to bring him back this month to bolster Celtic's squad for the second half of the campaign, including crucial Champions League fixtures. The £3 million stumbling block could prove to be a mere negotiation point rather than a deal breaker. With Arsenal's willingness to offload Tierney and the player's apparent desire to return, both sides have incentives to find a workable solution. In other news, former Celtic striker Chris Sutton did not hold back in his criticism of Brendan Rodgers' side after their 3-0 defeat to Rangers at Ibrox. It was a horrible day at the office for Brendan Rodgers' side, who simply failed to turn up. If it wasn't for Carter Vickers at the back, it probably would have been more embarrassing for the Hoops. Losing a derby is never ideal, but to do so in the way that Celtic did with the performance they put in was simply embarrassing. Writing in his column for the Daily Record, Chris Sutton described the performance as one of the worst in recent memory. Sutton was baffled by Celtic's uncharacteristically poor display, particularly given their dominant form this season. He wrote, "It was a bad day, a really bad day. I don't think a single Celtic player got pass marks apart from perhaps Cameron Carter-Vickers. Players who have excelled in this fixture had total stinkers. They were flat, slow on the ball, ponderous in possession, and I don't think I've seen a Rodgers side give the ball away quite so much. It was incredible. The Celtic midfield didn't react well to being put under pressure, and it forced them to fluff their passes. But even when they were not under pressure, there were times when they failed to hit a man or even pass the ball right out of the pitch. It was hard to believe what we were seeing. I don't care what anyone says, no one saw this coming. There, quite simply, cannot be another performance like that this season. Celtic have the chance to get back to winning ways when St Mirren travel to Celtic Park on Sunday. In recent years, it would be straight into an international break, with the players, staff and fans left to dwell on such a poor result. But thankfully, this isn't the case this year. When Celtic hosts Rangers in spring, fans will be looking for a much improved performance and result. Lastly, Celtic have officially recalled young defender Dannie Murray from his loan stint at Queen's Park, following a productive 6 months in the Scottish Championship. The 21-year-old featured in 20 league matches and added appearances in the League Cup and Challenge Cup, marking a significant milestone in his recovery from over 2 years of injury struggles. Celtic now face a decision on Murray's immediate future. The defender could be integrated into Brendan Rodgers' first-team squad as a rotational option or sent on loan to a higher-tier club for further development. With Stephen Welsh reportedly set for a loan move to Belgian side KV Mechelen, the path appears clear for Murray to step into a backup role at Parkhead. Currently, Liam Scales seems to be Rodgers' preferred partner for Cameron Carter-Vickers in central defence. However, Scales' recent performances, particularly in the Glasgow derby defeat to Rangers, have raised questions among the Celtic fans. Many fans are calling for Austin Trusty to be given a starting role. The £6 million summer signing from Sheffield United has impressed in his limited appearances, and his inclusion could bring much-needed stability and physicality to the backline. Murray, meanwhile, would slot in as the fourth-choice centre-back, learning from his more experienced teammates while potentially earning minutes in domestic competitions. Celtic face a hectic schedule in the coming months, with league fixtures, the Scottish Cup, and crucial Champions League matches, including potential round of 16 qualifiers. Murray's return offers Rodgers added depth, allowing him to rotate his squad without compromising quality. For Dannie Murray, this recall represents an opportunity to prove himself under Brendan Rodgers. Celtic fans, what are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let us know down in the comments section below. That does bring us to the end of today's video. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Thank you,